Hi there, you're very welcome to our Student Spotlight. And today we're speaking to Emma McLoughlin, who is a Tipperary native studying the Bachelor of Social Science degree. And hi, Emma.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Great to have you today. Tell me about, I know you're actually speaking to us from the campus today, aren't you? You're living in the accommodation there.
Yeah, so I came up on campus just to kind of be here for the rest of the semester, but also like to use the facilities that are available, and we might be back on campus hopefully. If not, it's okay.
Yeah, we're kind of living through this COVID various levels at the moment, so everything's in a bit of a state of flux. But normally you're living on campus. So did you live on campus from first year?
Yeah, so I lived here first, second and final year now.
Great, okay. And so from Tipperary, it's obviously not somewhere you could commute from necessarily, but Maynooth isn't maybe the default choice for some students from Tipperary either. There are other colleges, which we won't name, that might be a bit closer, a bit more convenient. What was it about Maynooth that kind of stuck out for you?
Surprisingly, I know about like 5 people from my school around my year that are here, which is nice. I wanted to come to Maynooth since transition year. So we came on campus in TY, got a tour, and I just really liked the campus. It was small, but it's still like a university and it had all the benefits of that. And I suppose then I really liked the social science degrees, both the community work one and the social policy one. And again, Maynooth is lovely, and I can't get over how you know everyone. Like it's kind of hard to describe, but you just get to know so many people, and people are connected to people you know, and it's really like a tight-knit community, and I really like that.
Okay, so you maybe came from a small enough school. Was it, how many were in your school?
Well, it wasn't really small. It was about 700-800 students, but like I only know about a handful that are in Maynooth, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. So maybe coming to a college that wasn't quite, so big was an important thing for you. But obviously choosing the degree was something that you had to be pretty sure about too. So was social policy, social science, I mean, they're not necessarily subjects that you'd be familiar with in school. So, how did that come on your radar?
So I took Home Economics in Leaving Cert, and we do a section that's called like social scientific, and there's a bit of sociology through that, and I was just getting full marks for the first time ever in a subject, and my teacher was kind of saying, this is an area, have you an interest in this? And I was like, yeah, I really do. Like, what is it? Like, how can I go about it? And so I always had it in the back of my mind, like sociology, but obviously I was always like worried, like, oh, would I get the points? Like everyone is at Leaving Cert level. But so I was always like looking into it, and I looked into like the social science course in like other universities as well. So it was always kind of on my CAO form.
Okay, so there was that subject that really sprung your interest. And did you kind of think, okay, I'm definitely going to study that degree, or were you looking at sociology, because that's a subject in the arts degree as well? So you could have gone into the arts degree with sociology, but social science was what you wanted to study then. That's the difference?
Yeah, so there is a difference. So social policy and sociology are my 2 main degrees. So it's kind of difficult. It's a double major, 2 dissertations. It's quite difficult, but it's fine. And I kind of, in first year, you do 2 arts subjects along with the social policy, and you have an option of going to the arts degree after first year or second year. And I took anthropology, and I was like, no, I really do like social policy. I think it works well with sociology, and kind of I'm quite interested into like policy analysis, which is like the main focus, one of them, of social policy. And I really think they link well together.
Okay, so that's the key difference then, isn't it? Social policy is not something that you're going to be able to study in the arts degree. You need to choose the social science degree for that.
Yeah.
So how would you, it's not an easy question, but how would you distinguish between the 2 subjects, sociology and social policy? I know you've just said it's kind of more of a policy focus, but what does that mean, to someone who's in their TY or 5th year and not entirely sure what is policy about? What does that mean?
So I suppose policy would be kind of, we're all familiar with like government policy, but as like a social science student, you can come at it from like looking at like issues such as like drugs issues, poverty, maybe even child rights, like all of that stuff. And you can work in like, let's say, think tanks, which kind of develop maybe the policy to bring forward to develop maybe like the safeguarding for children, stuff like that. You're kind of the researchers for that.
Yeah, to move things along so that, you know, maybe policy that was in place in the 1980s isn't relevant anymore. Things need to change based on how society is changing.
Yeah, there's so much more to the degree as well. It's not just policy focused, but I suppose it does come back to policy at the end of the day, because my dissertation is for social policy, is a policy analysis. So I'm looking at like education policy, like that's an interest I have, and it's something that you can look at from social policy or from sociology, but you look at both of them from two different perspectives. Like you're still looking at like social issues in sociology, and you're coming at it from maybe a different research aspect. Like I do quantitative research, so it's more like statistics, using the SPSS software, stuff like that, which my sociology dissertation is using the Growing Up in Ireland study. So
okay, so that's more qualitative research that's looking at speaking to people directly, maybe more so than the
no, it's kind of the data on looking at data as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I've chosen to do. Qualitative is more of the interviews, and we can do that, but I've chosen quantitative.
Yeah, okay. So that's keeping you pretty busy at the moment then, 2 dissertations, which is 2 subjects, and that's
no, it is challenging because they're both like 10,000 words.
Okay, so, significant. So is that the main focus of what you're doing at the moment then? Do you have other, you know, much in terms of like lectures and class time tutorials?
Yeah, no, it's full on. Like we have other modules that are requiring to put time and effort and do essays on as well. So yeah, it's busy.
What do you think are the real personality traits or qualities that a person would need to have to pursue the degree that you're taking? Does anything stand out in that respect?
I suppose when we're looking at like social issues, you need to be understanding, and you kind of need to maybe take aside your own personal issues and kind of look at the individual need of the person. So like social policy is a subject that is needed for social work, so it does link in well for that. But I think, definitely, like, you need to be understanding. I think maybe you need to be good at making decisions and kind of that's right for the person. Like they talk about like ethics of justice, ethics of care, kind of those perspectives, which is interesting. But also I think for the subjects, you need to want to learn more and sometimes put aside what you already know and learn different perspectives from theorists and maybe analyze what they're saying, maybe with your own opinion, and then coming up with a solution.
Yeah, and isn't that what a lot of college is about? It's about taking in other people's points of view and opinions, but being able to kind of come up with your own ideas as well and challenge and be objective.
Objective, that's the one.
Did you find arriving in first year from Tipperary moving to the campus, how did you find that transition?
It was exciting, but it was scary. I suppose, like thinking back, like it was so different to this year. Like it was exciting. Like there was events that you could go to. There was stuff like the department were bringing in people to talk to us, and I suppose we got to see everything on campus, and it was all go go go. It was so cool. Like it was something different to like secondary school or the PLC that I'd done before secondary school. It was really exciting.
Yeah, so it wasn't that you didn't find it too challenging, that you were able to settle in pretty quickly then?
Yeah, like I did find there was challenges, but I think I really wanted it. I really wanted to do social policy, sociology, social science in general. I remember one of the lecturers was like telling us what to expect and what we could kind of be looking at, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I really like this. I'm excited to learn. And my course is 60 people now, I think. It was 80 something, but we mix with sociology, which have like 200 students and lectures, and then social policy is quite smaller. So the social policy department, the applied social studies department, that's kind of small and close knit, which is nice, and it was easy to settle into that.
Okay, so you have the best of both worlds then. You have the sort of smaller class, so you get to know everyone pretty well, and then bigger lectures, which are always fun to sit in too. So that was the kind of academic side of settling in, and then the clubs and societies side of things as well. Did you kind of join loads, or did you?
I didn't really join. Well, I suppose in first year everyone kind of joins everything, but I joined. The main one I kind of stayed with was the Red Cross Society and doing like first aid, and I was on the committee for that. So it was exciting. Like we got to do duties such as like the summer ball or help with the Meals on Wheels in Maynooth and stuff.
Okay, that sounds like a very worthy society as well to join, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we get trained up as well. So I'm at like FAR level, which is the first aid responder. So yeah, that was quite good to do as well.
Okay. So what about then, now that you're in your final year and you're kind of thinking about the future, what are you thinking about doing?
I've applied to some internships, but obviously they'll be remote for the foreseeable future. And I've applied, I suppose, with ones that are doing policy analysis. There's ones that are doing like quantitative data, using the Growing Up in Ireland study, like things like that. Also, I might do a master's in the future. You can be a teacher. We were actually told the other day that you can teach a new subject that's on the Leaving Cert, which is, I think it's politics and society, something like that. I might be wrong, but yeah, we were told we can register with the teaching council the other day, so that was exciting. It opened up other options. I suppose you could do a master's and kind of go into anything. I'm lucky it's very broad, but also you could be, what I'd be interested in is like the education, childcare kind of aspect, like children's rights, stuff like that. So I don't know, kind of what I would like to do is like an education welfare officer, but that's kind of something you don't just like get out of college and become one straight away. It takes a few years to kind of build up experience and then apply for it.
For sure, yeah. And that's what being in college is great for as well, isn't it? Getting those things on your CV and just getting involved in them. And indeed the different assignments and dissertations that you're doing, that all points to a particular interest, which you can talk about in your interview. So social work is something that some students might decide to go in that direction with. That's not maybe on your radar so much?
I'm not ruling it out, but I think for the moment I need to go and kind of work and get experience. And like there is some people my age and they're going off doing the masters next year and they really want it, but I'm kind of like, what I want to do changes every day sometimes. So I think I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, well, that's it. Great. Once you have a good degree under your belt, you'll be able to decide the exact direction you want to go over a period of time. There's no major panic. Before we let you go, do you have any words of advice for someone who's thinking of applying to Maynooth and maybe your degree?
I suppose I'm being a bit biased, but I'm a MAP ambassador with the Access Office, and there is opportunities to come to like a shadowing day. It was more so maybe when we could be on campus. I'm not sure what's happening this year, but it's an opportunity to meet with students and go see their lectures with them and talk to them in person. So I definitely look into that if that's possible, or I would go to open days and stuff and ask questions, Or with the admissions office, I'm a student ambassador, and we have the Ask a Student. So you can chat to a student about their course. So I would tell like a prospective student to really try and talk to students, the current students, or maybe if they can get to Maynooth and walk around, see if they like it. Because at the end of the day, it's really important to like where you are. And I know it's kind of hard, like you can't really know until you get here, but I like the feel of it when I was in transition year, and how it was a university, but it wasn't, you know, crazy like with the amount of students that were in other universities I saw. So I definitely would say get the feel of Maynooth, like see what it's like if you get the chance.
That's great advice, and thank you very much, Emma. It was lovely to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Best of luck with your dissertations.
Thank you.